Food and weight obsession can be exhausting. Losing weight, gaining weight, dieting, feeling like a failure because you missed a workout, binged, overate, or gained all the weight back. The cycle is endless and it can be maddening. But I'm here to say you can stop the mental madness. You can take back control of your food behaviors, but you have to face your fears, you have to ask for help, and make a change. I am Leslie M. Thornton, permanent weight loss coach from hpwl.co. This is Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss, and I know you can make this happen. On this podcast, you will hear how to stop the mental madness, love your body, trust your food decisions so you can create a life of happiness, freedom, and inner peace. Welcome, welcome. Amazing. I see some familiar faces and names. Hi. Thank you for having your video on. I love to see people's videos. So yes. Hi. Just go ahead and type in the chat. Naomi's here again. So fun. Type in the chat where you're coming from. I love to know where people are from. So let's create some of that today. It's going to be a little bit interactive as well as getting some hypnosis. Hey, Christine, great to see you. Happy post-Thanksgiving to everyone. Super excited to give you some nice relaxation and recentering of yourself after the holiday, if you did celebrate it in the United States. And if not, then you'll still get some nice things going on there. Nancy, I see that your note taker is asking to you record the thing. I've never had that request before. Maybe type in the chat if you need that for some kind of ability for yourself. If not, I'm just going to deny it for now. Amazing. Welcome. So we're typing in the chat. Let me just see where everybody is from. We are going to get into some nice hypnosis for you tonight. If you haven't typed it in, then please do create some connection. You never know who you're going to meet here. We got Chicago. We've got Schenectady. Hello. Not far from me at all. Rhode Island, Little Rock, Arkansas, Texas, New Jersey. Hello. Got two people from Australia in the house tonight. Hello, Christine. Kayla, North Carolina, two North Carolinas in a row. California. I love it. All right, so we are now starting to do these healthy hypnosis hours with a theme. So please come back to each one each month. They're going to be a little bit different. So one thing I was reflecting on today when talking about Thanksgiving was there's this part of me that was a little bit sick and tired of people kind of saying oh, the de-stressor from Thanksgiving. And then I was like, why am I being so aloof? I was like, there are natural things that happen each holiday that if I am being honest with myself, those different family connections or those different things actually do have an impact on my energy, right? That can cause a little bit more emotionality, that can cause me to eat a little bit off, So I want to invite you to type in the chat of what was annoying to you about this holiday, if you had a holiday. Just such an opportunity to be honest about what actually was annoying. You have a family member who just kind of, puts you off in certain ways. And as you guys are thinking about that and typing that in the chat, Imogen, you said that my speaker is connected to my computer, not my mic. Oh, sorry about that. Let me fix my audio for everybody here. Thank you for telling me about that now. Let's see. Nobody wants to listen to someone who sounds yucky. Imogen, do you mind coming off mute and reading out what people are saying about what actually frustrated them? Fix the audio issue. Love it.
Of course. Hi, everyone. So we've got here, Jill, we always make too much food and think we'll run out, so we make more. Yep.
Yeah, sometimes those people pleaser tendencies can come out, right? Where it's oh, we want everyone to be happy, especially as women. Oh my goodness, how do we mess some things up and not make enough food? I appreciate you saying that. Who else has one? What caused a little bit of angst?
Christine's got not enjoying the meaning of the holiday and just stressing to clean, cook, then clean up. Yeah, big time.
Mhm. Yep. Yeah. So one of the things that I hear so often, and I apologize that my sound probably is not lovely right now for you. I'm doing my best to see what's missing here. Yes, is one of the main things I hear from having thousands of conversations with people for doing this work for years and years now is that when people are like, what I really want, more than anything, if I was to wave a magic wand and get out of diet mentality and not obsess about food 24/7 anymore, is to just be able to be truly present with my family, to truly be present with the people I care about the most, to actually enjoy my day to day life without stressing about how much am I going to eat today? How much am I not going to eat tomorrow? Do I need to work out to make up for, what is going on over here? Who can relate to that? Who would just really appreciate just getting to, just enjoy the holiday and being present with your family instead of thinking about food and dieting all the time? All right, and then we have Mary saying evening running too long. People overstay their welcome, maybe. You still had work contacting me during the holiday. Boo. Oh my goodness, Susan, yuck. That's not fun. Oh my gosh. Thanks for sharing that. Absolutely. I didn't really enjoy or get. And on that note, there's also the thing about boundaries, right? There's a big part of our program where we're teaching people how to actually set boundaries. Naomi, I remember specifically coaching on this. And it's like, she was like, I'm really good at boundaries. And then as we did it, she's like, maybe I could be better at this. So there's always better that we can do around boundary setting, so that we can protect our own energy. Because if our energy is getting messed with for family reasons, for, you know, work reasons, or whatever, this is also going to affect the way we're eating, right? We're going to use alcohol to numb out or more sweets to numb out. We're going to go to the kitchen and then we're saying, oh my God, why am I doing this? I shouldn't be eating this. I don't want to gain weight. It's not, what I say to my clients all the time is we don't have a food issue. We have a thought issue. We have an emotional issue. Um, I just recently did, and I promise we'll have enough time for all the hypnosis and everything that we're going to bring you tonight. And I think the community getting to connect in this way is helpful for everyone. Yeah, just basically having it. Let's see if I just lost my train of thought. What was I just saying, Imogen? She's like, I don't know, moderating the whole group right now. It's all right. We're going to go with it. Okay. With work boundaries with her. Oh, yes. Okay. So I was just posting the other day so I was researching statistics because I'm looking for how we can, help people in a bigger way with what it is that we do, and always getting a clearer picture on exactly, how we're really helping people. Um, 80% of people who lose weight gain it back in the first 1 to 2 years after they lose it all. Raise your hand if you've been part of that 80% statistic in your life. Absolutely. 100%, myself included. And what I also read was how diet and exercise are great for weight loss in the short term. In the short term. And yet our entire health industry and everything is saying, more exercise and less eating, all over and over again. And it's still a short-term solution. So, what the heck is missing? And, right now with everyone talking about Ozempic and the GLP-1 drugs, anyone starting to listen about that, thinking about that? Maybe I should have that. Thank you for your honesty. Thanks, Tammy. Right? Whenever there's that new thing coming around, we start to kind of take a look because we just want to have that, what if this actually is the thing? What if this is the thing that could actually get me to lose the weight, right? Or we've thought about gastric bypass, or if you're brave enough, raise your hand if you've actually gotten gastric bypass or lap band surgery. I've had lots of clients who have had that in the past before, and they still found loopholes. They still found ways to gain weight back after they had that surgery. So it's like, what are we missing as a society? Clearly there's something we're missing. So the main things that we're missing. So number one, learning how to master your emotions is a major part of it, right? Because emotional eating, right? And the mental issues, right? Sometimes psychiatric kind of things that can go on underneath the surface, right? Relationship things that cause the emotional turmoil. Like that's really what sends us to the kitchen, right? Which is why I'm so excited about this being the post Thanksgiving because, and why I'm asking you to specifically talk about what stress you out on the holidays, because when we're actually looking at the root cause of what forced us to go to the kitchen in the first place, right? And we actually know how to support ourselves through those emotions, hypnosis being an amazing supportive tool. Who here has ever experienced hypnosis before? Love it. Love it. Oh my gosh, so many people. Who here it like worked temporarily and then it stopped working? Gain the weight back. Yep. See, there still really is not a quick fix. I'm sorry to say, there just is not. And hypnosis is super helpful. It's super supportive. But what I found over the years, because when I first started doing this, I um, was doing hypnosis sessions for, clients would do like a package or something. But when I checked back with them 6 months later, they were like, it was great during the time, but now I'm back doing the next diet. And I was like, well, that's not cool. And I fell into that same thing. So tonight you're going to get the first transformational tool that I experienced that just got me to actually relax. All right. So, who here can relate to this? It's like, the right things to eat, the wrong things to eat, you eat the wrong thing, and then it starts this crazy train in your brain that's like, why did I do that? What's wrong with me? I'm a food addict, Tammy. Yep. I can't control myself. How come everybody else can do this and I can't? Right. And then that mental chatter spins you into like, well, tomorrow's going to be different. Tomorrow I'm going to start that new thing. And it's just like, and that's a trap, right? The weight loss industry is a $6 billion industry because it banks on the fact that it knows that 80% of people are going to gain their weight back. And they know that it's like such a good business model. You're going to keep coming back. Okay, they're not providing the emotional mastery. They're not providing the actual specific coaching that's tailored for you and like how your brain is wired, right? Based on your upbringing and your habits and your lifestyle. There's not that community support, right? Of other people that are up to that same kind of thing. And those are the things that are required to actually maintain and lose your weight. Yeah. And it's an ongoing journey. We are constantly developing ourselves. It's a never ending journey, right? There are still ways that I get healthier every day with relationships, with my own emotional mastery, right? That has me continue to make better health choices for myself, but it's happening naturally. It's happening because I'm healing. Yeah. And it's not happening because I'm, in that cycle of what's wrong with me, help me, fix me, let me make an impulsive decision quickly and call my doctor and demand that they give me Ozempic and they better give it to me for free or whatever else is going on. All right. So just type in the chat, done. If you are done with quick fixes and you actually want to make a life-changing change for yourself this year, we are headed towards 2024. Okay. Can be the year that I literally say to my clients after they sign up for a program, I'm like, circle your calendar for this day and write down, this is the day that I changed my life. Okay. Because once you learn what you learn about what's actually going on underneath the surface of your wanting to lose weight all the time, you can't unlearn that. Right. And we are supportive of people doing any kind of program that they feel aligned with doing. Right. If someone came into my program and they really wanted to do Ozempic, great. I'm in full support of that. And let's just unpack and make sure that where your decision is coming from is authentic to you, that you're aware of, the side effects or whatever. Same thing with, gastric bypass. If that's what somebody wants to do, great. And let's set you up for success and make sure that you have the foundational tools that you need as far as emotional mastery, hypnosis, community, mindset, and understanding about dieting and what's actually going on. And people who don't obsess about this, how do they think? So that you can make a truly informed decision and you will be successful moving forward with anything and choice that you make in your health journey moving forward. Yeah. So let's see if we got some dones in the chat. 2024 is going to be your year to actually circle the calendar. I'm done. I'm freaking done. Literally, your life changes when you make a decision. So take that seriously for yourself and just know that it's already starting just by declaring that out to the world that, I'm done with this pattern and I want to start a new path where I can actually get on a track of permanent weight loss where you can actually learn how to maintain your weight and actually fall in love with yourself, your body, your food, learn how to enjoy a piece of pizza and not have a mental crazy train going off the next day. Anyone? Would anyone like that? Or a piece of pie and just enjoy your pie and eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner after Thanksgiving? Because who doesn't do that? Yeah, come on. But the difference is everybody does that, but there's those of us who do that, and it's like World War III going off in your brain as you're doing it. It's a mental health issue. It's not your fault, right? Who here had parents growing up that were dieters or health conscious or weight conscious, or you grew up in a medical family? Sorry to say, you were set up like me to kind of fail in this area. Okay, why? So, I usually go through all the slides in this, but we're doing it off the cuff today. Are you guys with me? You're interested, you're hearing, you're listening. Just trust as you're in this conversation that like just whatever comes to you, if you want to take notes and receive it, and then again, we'll get into the hypnosis and teach you around the science behind it and then bring in some nice things to support you in getting centered post-holiday. So yeah, it's a mental health thing. And it took me a long time to actually own that because I'm a successful person, right? Like I'm sure so many of you, I see all of you on your screen, you got on Zoom tonight. That takes something, okay? You had to click links, you had to register, you had to put your information in, you're smart people. And that was part of my problem though, is like, how could I be so successful in all these other areas of my life, right? I traveled the world. I did 12 countries in 2.5 years. I started a business. I was a nurse in the ICU and kept patients alive, that were in bad states. I, graduated with good standings in, 3.9 GPA or something in college. Like I had all of the things of like, I should be doing well, but how come with my weight, how come with food, I just can't figure it out. And there's a lot of shame associated with that. There's a lot of guilt, a lot of what's wrong with me. And I felt like isolated as far as like, I can't talk about this with anyone. Because I learned at a young age that when I did talk about it and being like, I feel fat or I feel, whatever, I would try to share about the fact that this was going on all the time. And the constant feedback I'd get was like, what are you talking about? You're beautiful. You look fine. You don't need to lose weight. You can have that. And it was like, it wasn't helping. Who here can relate to like, you've shared about it before and like, it doesn't, right? It's just like not helpful. You even share about it with your doctor sometimes, right? And you're like, kind of like letting it out and they're just like, oh yeah, well, have you tried this? What are you eating? What's actually, it's just like that, like so annoying. It's so boring. It's so annoying. Like, and so because all your heart wants is to be able to actually like intimately share like how painful that this is. And it goes on for decades and decades and decades. A lot of my clients, I have people as young as 20 in my program. And I literally have someone right now who is 85 in my program right now. So, but a lot of my clients, average age will be like menopausal, which can be also another challenging time. Yeah. But it like it's just like, yeah, just the power of being able to be in community and actually share about these things. Back in whatever, like women used to sit around in tents together and they literally would used to like cook all day long together. They'd be talking about food all day long. Like they'd be, whatever. And it's like, we don't have any place to actually talk about this. And one of the reasons I've been studying, like I said, that Weight Watchers got so successful was because these women got together. Oh, let me tell you this. This is helpful, I think, for everybody to hear. So the woman who invented Weight Watchers, like in the 60s, she started by going to one of the strict like Overeaters Anonymous programs. Okay. And so it was like very regimented. I followed a program that was derived from Overeaters Anonymous. So like extremely strict and whatever. So she went to one of the meetings. So it's a weigh-in meeting and she steps on the scale and the woman was like, oh, you're down 2 pounds. And she was like, okay. And she was like, but if you follow the diet perfectly, you should have been down 2.9 pounds today. And so she knew for herself, she was like, why didn't you lose 2.9? Well, she confessed that when she was stressed out, she had like young kids at the time. She used to lock herself in like the laundry room and closet eat these like sugary treats. Anyone ever done anything weird like that? I absolutely did. This is the place to clear the shame. They always like, I'm not going to confess this. I've talked to hundreds and probably 1,000 people at this point, and the sneak eating is real. Okay, you're not alone in this. The hiding the wrappers before anyone comes back, or before, like, as you're at the fast food place, like taking things out of the trash can. We got to talk about it because it's a real freaking thing. Anyway, so that's what she was doing. And she was like, that's why I didn't lose the weight. So she shares this with her friends after she goes to this meeting. And she was like, yeah, I ate 2 packages of these, I don't know, like Little Debbie, whatever. And that's why I didn't lose weight. And then her friends were like, they were like, oh my God, you lost 2 pounds and you still ate 2 packages of Little Debbie's things. Like, tell us how to do that. Okay. The second thing was because she shared the fact that she was locking herself in the laundry room and eating these cookies or whatever, also had permission themselves to confess that they also were doing weird behaviors like this, right? This other woman was like, she and her husband went out, they left like a strawberry cheesecake in the fridge, and they told the babysitter she could eat it. They came back and the wife lied to her husband and said, oh, she ate the cake, even though the babysitter did not eat the cake. And she ate the cake quickly so that her husband wouldn't know. Okay. Yes. Who's done anything like this? I definitely used to. Okay. It's like funny, but it's not funny. Okay. Like it's funny, but it's actually not funny at all, because this is why the whole world is having an issue. It's like, we're not talking about these things that everybody's dealing with. So her friend, they had such this relief of actually sharing their shame stories. And please, if you want to share your shame story and get connected and help yourself, then put it in the chat, because honestly, it'll go far for you if you're like, and someone else is going to be like, me too. So her friends were like, okay, we all got to share about our shame, which felt really good. And B, you found a way to eat 2 boxes of cookies and still lose 2 pounds. So she started her own. They just started meeting up each week and doing a weigh-in and sharing about their shame stories, which if you've ever, who's done Weight Watchers, yeah, like that part I actually remember enjoying, of people actually talking about what was going on. It was so relieving, right? It was actually like helpful. But the thing is about this woman who started Weight Watchers is she found a way through weight and through talking to control the way she was eating so she would consistently lose weight. But that's controlling it versus learning how to have a healthy relationship with it, so that even without the control, you're not eating 2 boxes of cookies. So who here can stay really controlled once you're like in your groove with your diet, but then as soon as you fall off it, you are extremely off it, like binging, some people are purging, like the whole gamut. Okay. And everybody's binges are different. Like, I think it's your own perception of what a binge is for you. But that feeling of anxiety and like, I can't stop eating and it feels scary and all these types of things. Okay. I would define as a binge. My clients get over binging in the 6 weeks that they're in the program. Just want to let you know, like, it's not a thing. Yep. Imogen's nodding her head. She's seen it. She's been there. She's the client. And these are the things that, like, you check yourself into the hospital and eating disorder clinic, and they still don't help you in the way that doing this process actually helps, of you learning how to master your emotions and let go of shame about these behaviors. It's like, actually, it's normal. You're fine. And let's look at it. Let's unpack it. Let's feel it. Let's, give you what you need, and you can stop those behaviors. And it's quicker than you think that it can happen. So my whole stance for since I've been doing this since 2015, has been to educate people on what's actually going on underneath the surface and let them know that there is actually a way to get out of diet mentality for the rest of your life. There is a way to have your weight get maintained and have a healthy relationship with food, body, and weight for the rest of your life. Who here would like to have that? Amazing. Good. So like type in the chat, like, I'm going to effing get that this year for myself, like, let this be the last year that you have to keep clicking on stuff like this for a quick fix, which doesn't exist. There is some work involved. There is a commitment, there is a decision. but it is possible. So, and I will have Imogen, if you know that you want that this year, we have an access for you to book a call. You'll get on either myself or Imogen's calendar. And you can actually have an opportunity to talk about what's going on for you and the program details and how we can help and all that kind of stuff. So give yourself a gift. I had a friend in the past who she was like, I think I'm going to hire that coach and do that program in 2025, for example. And I was like, why don't you just book the call now and get the information so that you can at least know what you're doing? She's like, oh, that's right. And then she started right away and was like, that was dumb of me to think about putting it off. We as human beings live very someday, one day, like life is happening now. You know, if an amazing bucket list item would be to not have to worry about food anymore for the rest of your life, like there it is. It's literally in that link. So book that call for yourself. Okay, so we've had people who have done hypnosis in the past. So let me actually get my screen ready, and I'm going to share some slides just around hypnosis. And who has been to Healthy Hypnosis Hour before? Imogen, I'm looking at my screen, but how many hands do we have raised here?
Couple that people.
Nice. Well,
4
welcome back.
people that I can see. Yeah.
One of the things that I love, you know, and one of the things, so we're going to test to see whether or not hypnosis will work for you. So we will make sure you have that. But then another way that hypnosis is ensured to work is if you understand that it's actually not magical. It's very scientific for myself. So, like I said, I'm a registered nurse, so science is something I highly value. In college, I was granted the Microbiology Lab Rat Award, which was highly embarrassing because I didn't even know there was that award. All of it to say that I am a science person. So when I found hypnosis for weight loss, I was very skeptical, but I had been going through the painful cycles that we've been talking about the first part of this tonight for decades. I started dieting when I was 8. I started drinking Slim Fast shakes when I was 8 years old. I was on Weight Watchers by 8th grade. And then I did South Beach. I did all the beaches. Uh, I did it all, you know? And yeah, hypnosis was like, okay, I can't do another diet again, but I was also terrified of being on my 600-pound life. Who here has ever seen that show, My 600-Pound Life? If we're obsessed with food, we're also often like, we can't stop looking at it because maybe I'll discover what's wrong with me when I watch this or face my fear of being on the show, which I totally did. Yeah, so was very skeptical of hypnosis and needed to understand the science of how it worked in order for me to feel confident about doing it. It kind of happened by chance. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the thing to share the screen. Because so first I kind of stumbled into coaching when I was nursing, and I was obsessed with coaching. Just the positive psychology aspect and like behavior change, like actually being able to help people. And then I started just offering, I was like, hey, I think I can help people like learn about hypnosis because it worked so well for me. And then I had this client come to me. It was like practice phone coaching. This was in 2013. And she was like, Leslie, I don't want you to just teach me about hypnosis. I just want you to do the hypnosis. And I wasn't a hypnotherapist at the time. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll do what I did on myself, which is the same hypnosis that my clients get in the program. And yeah, I did it over the phone, which I didn't even know if it was going to work. And then she came back the next week and she's like, Leslie, whatever you did last week, do it again. I've never felt more free around food in my life. And then I was like, what the heck? Like, does hypnosis actually work over the phone? I Googled it. Turns out there was all of these practitioners that worked over the phone, got all these awesome results. And then I started studying the science behind it. So I'm going to share some of that with you. And then we'll get into the science behind that. Now, some of you just came for the hypnosis tonight, and that's amazing. I hope that for those of you who have written done in the chat, that you actually will book a call for yourself. Just see what's possible. Because like I said, Hypnosis is one really amazing tool that I just love to give people as just this beautiful space to actually get past the crazy feelings. But it's not the final solution. There is all the foundational work required. And I've spent years and years of making sure that all of that is inside of our program that we have. Um, that if you do all of the work, it works every time. Right. And it's not that hard. It's just showing up and learning all the things that you need to learn to get past it. So, for those of you who have that after the hypnosis, we'll spend a little bit more time kind of going into kind of the results that we see in clients and who it really works for. And if you don't want to stay for that at all, and you know that this is something that you want, then that link is there for you to book that call. All right, perfect. So let's get into it. So let's test to see if hypnosis will work for you. So please put your fingers like this. All right, now I want you to imagine that I put a finger vise on the outside of each finger. Okay, and imagine you can actually close your eyes and imagine that that finger vise is outside both your fingers, and I'm just cranking it so that you're just cranking, 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 and it's getting closer and closer together, your fingers, as I just twist and twist and twist that finger vise, and it just gets closer and closer and closer and closer and closer together as it just cranks and cranks and cranks and cranks and cranks. Okay, and then open your eyes. All right, so see some fingers together, maybe see some apart. Okay, so what we learned from this tool, if your fingers are together, what that shows us is that your mind works very quickly and you have a fairly high level of anxiety, and that's why you have not mastered permanent weight loss yet. Okay, anyone can relate to this? Your mind moving fast, you're always thinking, thinking, thinking. You have trouble sleeping at night. Anyone can't fall asleep at night? Yep, that's also a side effect of that. If your fingers stayed apart, what this shows us is that you are really good at being in control all the time. You are like a control gal. You are just really good at control, and no one's going to make you do anything you don't want to do. And that also shows us why you haven't been successful with permanent weight loss yet. Okay, so everybody's mind works a little bit differently, and we learn from each experience on, what we can do differently to get different results. So awesome work there. All right, so why hypnosis? So something I need you all to understand is that all permanent change happens in the unconscious mind. All permanent change happens in the unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind holds, it's where learning occurs. All right. Being free from food is like learning a new language. All right. So consider the fact that each of you, if you're a long-term dieter, being a health conscious person is already a language you know how to speak fluently. I've worked with tons of healthcare professionals for whatever reason, like emergency care doctors and nurses seem to really be people that need this service. Why? Well, because they know all the right things about health. They value it highly. They know the right and wrong things to eat. But so that's one language that you know how to speak fluently. But being someone who is free emotionally and mentally in this area of life is a completely new language. All right. And the way that we actually learn a new language, who here knows more than one language? Yeah, I love that. Type in the chat what language you speak. I'd love to hear. Yeah. I remember, so I learned Spanish in college fluently. And I remember like the day that I actually first dreamt in Spanish and the first time that I started thinking in Spanish. Okay. So what this shows us is like, okay, the unconscious mind is now actually I'm not just learning this in the conscious place where I'm like trying to speak Spanish. It's like, it's coming out of me. All right. So the way we change the unconscious mind is through repetition and emotion. And the way we access that is through different tools. But one of them that we're going to experience today is hypnosis. All right. It actually gets to those deeper layers so that what we are learning actually becomes our new way of being. Isn't that exciting? So when you compare yourself to your friends, you're like, how come they can eat like a whole piece of cake and be skinnier than me? And I'm over here dieting 24/7 and I can't lose any weight. Anyone ever feel that way? Thank you. Love it. It's hard. It's really challenging. Yeah. They have different beliefs going on in their unconscious mind. They had parents that might have not had an unhealthy relationship with food, body, and weight and were dieting their whole lives, or the other things that could be like if you were an athlete at a young age, okay, that you're in your body, or you were a dancer, okay, and like those things matter. That's going to impact how you're being. What are other things that can affect it? Any kind of abuse or trauma is going to 100% have you think different thoughts about your mind and be obsessed about staying skinny. So yes, hypnosis helps us access this super powerful part that has us automatically start showing up in a way where it's like, oh, cheesecake, I don't care. I'll have it. I'll take it or leave it. Don't care. One of my clients, amazing woman, she's like a diplomat of the entire South America or something. She had gastric bypass and she still found a way to eat and gain all the weight back. And after doing our program, I asked her how she was doing. And she was like, Leslie, I was on an international work trip and they brought out the brownie dessert. And she's like, for the first time ever in my life, I did not want it. And I did not feel deprived and I didn't have to eat it. Right? Who here would like to have some times where you don't have to eat it and you just just say no like a normal person when they're full. There's nothing wrong with you. We just need to rewire what's going on in the inner workings of your mind. Okay. So hypnosis gets to support you with that first step. And I'm just being so honest. It's only the first step. There is more things to get the foundation healthy for you. Good. So all learning happens in trance. We might have heard the word trance before. It could sound a little mysterious, but trance is actually an everyday occurrence. All right. If you're driving and you miss your exit, or you're driving and you get to your destination and you don't remember getting there. Anyone? Yeah. It's like, what the heck happens? Like your unconscious mind knew how to get there. Okay. That's just where it is. Or watching a fantasy movie and just accepting all the stuff that's going on, or getting into a trance as you're scrolling social media or watching TV. It happens all day long. All right. So hypnosis helps us get into that state so you can learn something new in an easy, automatic way. There's different waves of brain waves. So beta is waking. Alpha is that first stage of sleep where you like wake yourself up because you feel like you're falling. And then theta is that deeper sleep. Okay. And delta is like really deep sleep. So hypnosis can work on all alpha, theta, and delta. But today you can expect to go alpha and theta for the waves of sleep, of relaxation. All right. So what is hypnosis? One question I get all the time is hypnosis versus meditation. So just briefly, both cut down on mental chatter. Meditation often has us focus on color or symbols, the universe, sound. Hypnosis is for one specific goal. All right. So weight loss, smoking cessation, test anxiety, for example. So that's the main difference there. Some things that hypnosis is not. Hypnosis is not sleep. It's not unconsciousness. It's not being gullible. It's not being weak-minded. Okay. It's not being controlled by someone else. It's not a loss of self-control. And it's definitely not magic. All hypnosis is actually self-hypnosis. So no one can make you do anything you don't want to do. If I was to tell you to please stand up, unless you had some physical reason you could not stand up, you would probably do so. Okay. You made that choice. It's the same with hypnosis. You know, I tell you to imagine something. Your unconscious mind knows it's safe to imagine it, so you'll imagine it. But if I told you to blindfold yourself and walk across a busy highway, you would immediately run the other way and say that lady is absolutely insane, and you would not do it. All right. So it's similar. You're always going to be aware of what's coming in, and your unconscious mind will filter anything out that it is not in alignment with. And that's how that goes. Hypnosis is not a do to you process. I'm not going to do anything to you tonight. It's a do with process. All right. Just so you're showing up and it's like, oh, I would like to experience relief in this time. And I would like to feel more aligned around my food choices. So I am saying yes. And then this is going to guide me in having that new result come into my life. So hypnosis defined very simply is the act of following instructions to achieve a specific result. That's it. That is it. All right. And then, yeah, as we get into the hypnosis session, a couple things. So number one, if there are any distractions that you want to just let your, family know, or whoever you're with, to just leave you alone for 10 minutes, you can feel free to do that now. If during the hypnosis a dog barks, I also have a dog, so you never know, she might decide to bark. If an alarm goes off, if something falls in your house or something, it does not ruin the hypnosis. The invitation is to just allow that sound to be incorporated into your relaxation. Just bring it in and bring yourself back to the sound of my voice. It does not ruin the process. So just allow it. Okay. If there's any questions about faith, sometimes I get that question. I find that hypnosis actually strengthens people's faith of feeling more connected to whatever faith people have, and also being able to be in greater service and doing more aligned work as the result of feeling more at peace and in your body. Another thing with the hypnosis, so during the hypnosis, you may hear certain things that you're like, wait, I don't want that to be something that I'm not doing anymore, eating anymore. Um, the intention for hypnosis is not so that you never eat those foods again. It's so that you get rid of the emotional charge so that you're not crazy about the food either way. Right? You know how sometimes if someone brings out your favorite food, you'll be like, right? Or else you'll be like, no, I'm on a diet. Don't bring that out. Right? Like we're just getting rid of that like drama effect through hypnosis. Okay. So even if you hear a food that you're like, you don't need to worry about never eating it again. It's just like, no, I'm just going to have a healthy relationship with that food now. Everybody good with that? Awesome. All right. So type in the chat. Maybe you have some Thanksgiving faves that are still around in your house, but one, maybe two foods or drinks that you would like to have a healthy relationship with. You may also put a behavior like if eating in front of the cabinet or eating in front of the refrigerator, or eating food too fast, or eating on the way home from work, or eating peanut butter out of the jar. Okay. Like you can also put those types of things in the chat and I will do my best to incorporate all of them. Amazing. Oh, Susan, you speak French. I love that. Whoa, Nancy, English, French, German, and Swedish. Love it. Ooh, Atkins. Sorry, I'm going back and reading all these things. Okay, so here we go. All right, we got carbs, we got cheese, pizza, and pasta. We've got chocolate. We got eating in front of the TV, eating to fast. Oh, too fast. Thank you. Carbs and pizza. Eating before dinner, eating after I'm full. So that's so annoying, Christy. It's like you're like, all right, that's the last time I'm going to get up. I'm just going to get one snack. And then you get up again. And then you get up again. And you get up again. Right? I know. I used to do it too. I don't do it anymore. You don't have to anymore if you don't want to. Always wanting more, eating just because it is there. Stop when full. Stop feeling like I will never get to eat that again. Yes, scarcity. Absolutely. Never feeling satisfied. Just desperately searching for in the cupboard for anything. Isn't it amazing to see that everybody's dealing with the same thing? Is it helpful for you guys to be like, oh my God, I'm not the only crazy person? It is, right? That Weight Watchers woman was on to one piece. That was right, but not the full piece. Eat because I'm bored. Late night eating with my insomnia. Just want to say no. At times of food, I'm not hungry, but I know it is there. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Nice work, everyone. All right. So any questions before we begin? I think I said all the things. Oh, except I didn't say this. So if you do, there are some contraindications for hypnosis. So if you are a danger to self or others, you're dealing with psychiatric or neurological disorders, any highly repressed or traumatic material, or dealing with any kind of life-threatening disease, please ask your provider and come back next month to make sure that it's okay for you. And by staying on this call right now, you are agreeing that you don't have any of these things. Amazing. All right, let's get started. So go ahead and get into a nice, comfortable position. You can go ahead and close your eyes. Ooh, just take a nice deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Ooh. If you want, you can shrug your shoulders up to your ears and then maybe squeeze up your face and your arm muscles and your hands and just squeeze, 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 squeeze your whole upper body. Good. And then release, relax. Nice deep breath in and out. Beautiful. And go ahead and squeeze all of your abdominal muscles, just your upper abdomen, your lower abdomen. Just squeeze, 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 squeeze. Even though you might be thinking about your fat, that's okay. Just squeeze your fat. Just let it be there right now. It's safe to have it. And relax. Beautiful. And then go ahead and squeeze your buttocks, your thighs, your calves, your feet, your toes, and squeeze, 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 squeeze all of those muscles and release. Relax. Whew. Supports your body in getting into a nice, relaxed state. Beautiful. And during this hypnosis, you may hear every word that I say, or you may simply drift off and dream. And just know that whatever way you receive this hypnosis tonight is exactly how you are meant to receive it. It is not your conscious mind that is in charge of receiving it. It is your unconscious mind. Your only job is to just relax and focus on the sound of my voice. Follow any instructions to the best of your ability. If during this hypnosis you can't visualize absolutely everything I say, it's totally okay. Your unconscious mind knows exactly how to process it in a way that works for you. Taking a nice deep breath in. Good, and out. Imagining a beautiful, white, fluffy blanket, warm, just is wrapped around your body now. You can just relax and release yourself into that. Safe to let go. Beautiful. And when you're ready, I want you to imagine that you are standing in the most beautiful field you can imagine. And it's the most beautiful autumn day. Notice all the colors. There's beautiful changing colors on the trees, on the leaves. Notice how complementary each of these colors are, the yellows, the reds, browns. Just feeling thankful for the gift of sight. And notice there's the most beautiful crisp air just for the season, but the sun is still warm on your face. And breathing in that nice fresh air. And notice the way the clothes feel on your body. Maybe you're in an outfit that makes you feel lean, strong, and healthy, vibrant and alive. And just allowing yourself to experience that. And notice as you look down at your body is actually lean, strong, and healthy now. And notice that the way that your body became this way is not the result of any kind of diet or any kind of deprivation or struggle. No. The way that your body has now become lean, strong, and healthy is the result of you making new and empowered decisions for your mind and your body today. And notice that across the way you can see an apple tree. And you look and the apples are perfectly ripe. See the color of the apples. See the size of them, how the skin glistens in the sunlight. That's right. Notice a gust of air comes, wind, and the apples start falling from the tree one by one by one. Noticing that exactly 10 apples begin falling from the tree. And with each apple that falls, you go deeper and deeper into relaxation now. 10. Hearing the noise of the apple hit the ground. 9. That's right. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Your body has moved into a meditative, deeply relaxed state now. It is here where your unconscious mind is most open and most receptive to everything and anything coming in. Allowing this experience to be anything that your unconscious mind needs to support you in living your happiest and healthiest life now. Notice as you look in this field, in this beautiful autumn day, that there is a Thanksgiving table that's fully set. Notice how beautiful the china is on the table, the cups, the glasses, the decorations. Allow yourself to really walk up next to that table. And notice the different foods that are being placed on the table. And then bringing to your awareness that this table is your table. And you get to decide exactly what goes on this table. And seeing all of the food on the table now. And making the conscious choice to pull off any carbs from the table. Just throw them off. All types of carbs and breads. Just throw them off the table now. And see yourself throwing off any pizza. Throw off any pasta from the table. Maybe noticing little animals starting to eat it and just take it away. See yourself throwing any kind of cheese off the table. You don't need it anymore. See yourself throwing chocolate off the table. All types of chocolate. That's right. See yourself throwing any sugary foods off the table. Cookies or pastries or pies. Just throwing off the table now. See yourself throwing ice cream off the table. See yourself putting any beverages that have too much sugar off the table. Any alcohol off the table. Wine or beer, liquor, just throw it off the table now. Good. And then any other foods that you want to have a healthy relationship with, just throw it off the table now. Beautiful. And then as you sit down at the table without any of these foods or drinks on the table anymore, notice the way that you choose to eat now. And giving yourself permission to release any unwanted behaviors around food that are no longer serving you. So see yourself putting the behavior of eating in front of the TV and throw that behavior off the table now. That's right. See yourself putting eating too fast, that behavior of eating too fast, throw that behavior off the table now. See yourself putting eating before dinner off the table, just throwing it away. You don't need it anymore. See yourself putting eating after you're full off the table. That behavior, just throw it off the table now. See yourself putting always wanting more off the table. That insatiability, just throw that off the table now. That's right. How good it feels to release it now. Safe to let go. See yourself throwing off the behavior of eating just because it's there. Just throw that off the table now. See yourself stopping eating when you're full. not knowing how to stop, feeling like you'll never be able to eat that thing again, feeling like you're not able to stop when you're full. Just throw that off the table now. And then see yourself putting eating just because you're bored. Throw that behavior off the table, desperately searching for anything in the cabinet. Just throw it off the table now. Any late night eating with your insomnia or not being able to sleep well, just throw that off the table. Not being able to say no to food, just throw that off the table now. Eating when you're not hungry and any mindless eating, just throw all those behaviors off the table now. And any other unwanted foods or behaviors, go ahead and throw them off the table now. And just notice that if you look down at the ground, they've all been eaten by animals. They've all been absorbed into the ground. You can't even see them anymore. Notice how good it feels in your body to have created this separation between yourself and your old relationship with food. And just do the next logical thing and allow yourself to feel happy in your body, to move around in your seat and dance and sing and be excited and present with what's possible at this Thanksgiving table today. Good. And then remembering the mantra, I am free from food now and forever. Know that you can repeat this mantra to yourself as often as you need to, even after this hypnosis. I am free from food now and forever. And notice that the sun starts to come out and there's even more brightness in the sky. The birds are floating through the breeze. It's just the most beautiful day. And it just got even more beautiful. And then notice that now, since this is your table, you get to fill the table up with anything that makes you feel so good and alive. Things that are in alignment with your body, what makes you happy. You'll see yourself putting beautiful, clean, fresh water on the table for you to hydrate your cells. Even see yourself start to drink this water now. How good it feels to energize yourself with hydration. See yourself putting lean, healthy proteins on the table. Feeling gratitude for everything that had to happen for you to receive this beautiful whole food on your table now. See yourself putting beautiful vegetables, all different colors and flavors and spices and aromatics, just filling your nose and feeling those vegetables as you taste them, actually revitalizing all your cells and adding nutrients and minerals that are necessary for your body's natural health now. That's right. See yourself putting any fruits on the table. Notice how good the fruits feel and the natural sweetness that the earth provides. Good. See yourself putting anything else that will support you in feeling your best self on the table now. And notice the new feelings that you have of freedom, of joy, inner peace, of happiness. And just know that you did this. Thank yourself for showing up. I am free from food now and forever. When you're ready, you can excuse yourself from the table and imagine yourself dancing and singing and playing and choosing to take on new enjoyable activities to move your body. That feels so good to you. You could just do it all day long because it feels so nice for you. As you surround yourself with love and light, happiness, joy, freedom, and inner peace, And know that this is your birthright to receive these good feelings, and you have access to them at any time just by showing back up for yourself, by taking action that's in alignment for what you truly desire. And in a moment, I'm going to count you back up from 1 to 10. And on 10, you'll come back into the room alive and awake, remembering all things that support your path the most now. From 1 and 2, nice deep breath into your nose. 3 and 4, small movements come back into your fingers and your toes. 5 and 6, bigger movements come back into your body now. 7 and 8, if you want to take a nice stretch over your head. That's right. 9 and 10. And when you're ready, come on back, alive and awake. And open your eyes. Welcome back to the room. Beautiful. Welcome back, everyone. It's 9 o'clock on the dot. So if you do have a hard stop, feel free to leave. But I would love to hear in the chat, how are you feeling right now? If anyone's brave enough, you want to come off mute and share about your experience or anything that came up during your hypnosis, would love to hear. Very rested, feeling good. Peaceful. Love it. So if you're able to get relaxed at all, it means it worked. I always say to everyone, treat yourself like a science experiment after you experience hypnosis, and just notice. Could be little subtle things, tonight or tomorrow that you're like, you know what, that was a little bit different. And I invite you to pay attention and look for what is working. And it could be major things. You could have, very big desire to eat a salad tomorrow, or something that doesn't seem like you. So just be open. Got to see a squirrel run away with a bag of chips. That's so fun, Susan. I love it. Feeling more motivated to make healthier choices. Tired. Yep. Sleepy. Yep. I got it. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Great. If you have any questions, Imogen will be happy to answer for you. And like I said, for some of you, if you just came for the hypnosis, that's great. And if you wanted to hear a little bit more about how you can make 2024, like I said before, you need more than just the hypnosis. If you want the permanent change, I understand that people are aware of that. I don't believe in quick fixes. I don't think it's possible. I think it's not fair. Just real quickly, I value your guys' time. I know everybody has other things they can be doing, but just think it can help for you to just be educated, because that's what I want people to have, so you know what's available to you. If you consider yourself to be a healthy eater, you highly value your health. Again, you're that health conscious person. You know that you feel better when you eat well. You actually like healthy food. You know how good it feels to lose weight. You've successfully lost it in the past. Maybe you've even gone to extremes to lose weight. You swear you'll never gain the weight back again, but you do. And if you currently feel unhappy about your weight, but you also feel like you can't diet again, then the program that we have could be a good fit for you. I'm going to let in this new person. If you struggle with sneak eating, cravings, overeating, food addiction, staying consistent, motivated, having energy, stress, depression, anxiety, negative self-talk, body image, the scale triggers you. Seeing a photograph of yourself triggers you. Does anyone have that? Like it just sends you in a negative spiral. Yeah, it can be fixed. If you have a lack of self-confidence or self-worth overall, might be something to look into. I like to educate people on why we're not successful. So a lot of times with dieters comes perfectionist mentalities, and as women as well, very black and white thinking. And so as soon as you make a little mistake, then that's when it's World War III in your brain and you're beating yourself up. That causes you to eat more and be really hard on yourself. So that pattern gets in the way of us learning how to be normal eaters. So we got to break that down and learn how to be nice to yourself as you're learning, which is why I say no quick fix. The only way through is through. Right. So it's we got to make the same thing as if you had a little baby who was just learning how to walk, and the first time they try to stand up, they fall. You're not like, you suck. Don't try again, idiot. Right? To a baby, you're like, no, great. That was so good. You tried to stand, and here's what you can do better next time, and try again and try again and try again. Because there's so much fear around gaining weight, we never I know for myself, I never got a chance to actually figure out how I like to eat and how my body size was going to be if I just like allowed myself to eat what felt good to me and like learn what felt good to me. So we need to give ourselves permission to kind of learn how to walk, learn how to be normal eaters, and not beat ourselves up for not being perfect all the time. You're stuck in your own head, which can often lead to no action. You're thinking all day and you're analyzing what did I eat and what did I didn't eat, but you're not actually like booking the call that we gave you the link for to like, maybe I can change this. Right. So if you're somebody who like talks about it a lot, but doesn't take action, book a call. Just you'll change your life just by doing something different and out of your comfort zone. You're listening to too many people. We are bombarded today with all sorts of things on social media saying this is the best thing and I'm the best person and this is, I don't care what the heck you do, but you just got to pick one thing and you got to do it 100%. There is actual scientific evidence that shows that when we are focused on more than one thing at one time, we are less happy as human beings. So who here can relate to like you get an email from Weight Watchers and you're doing Weight Watchers the next day, but then you get another email from an intuitive eating coach and you're doing intuitive eating the next day. And then you get another email from, it's like, nah, like you get another email about keto and then you're doing keto the next day. Yes, thank you for your honesty. And it's so crazy making. You get to be happy when you find one and you choose it, and it does not matter what it is. Right? If you are in a space where you're like, I don't want to be yo-yo dieting for the rest of my life. I have a client right now, and she said her 86-year-old mother on her deathbed, the day she died, was like, my life was good, but I never got to lose that 20 pounds. She was the second person. I just did a TEDx talk. The TEDx talk will be out soon. Maybe next month we'll have it on here or something. She also, after my TEDx talk, said the same thing. Her whatever grandmother was like, but I never lost that last 10 pounds. And she looked at her daughter and she was like, I don't want to be on my deathbed just still talking about the same weight I need to lose. Like it does not need to be that way. Like if you aren't obsessing about this for the rest of your life, what else can you think about? Like maybe you've got like a beautiful business you could grow. Like maybe you can start your own thing. Like maybe you're gonna, I don't know, like be in such service in the world, but like we get stuck in our head. So you need to stop listening to too many people. You need to take action and you need to pick something that resonates with you and you need to do it. You'll be happier. Also using the wrong tools, Weight Watchers is still a control thing. All of the diets are control things or false advertisements for what you're going to get for the rest of your life. If you're not getting to the root cause of this pattern for you, which is specific to you and your unique things, and that call that you can book with us, we're going to get specific to you, right? Because everyone's wired differently. We're not going to see change. All right. And a major part of this is not knowing how to feel our feelings. All right. If we're really good on the outside and we are amazing at work and we are, badasses at work, there's a fairly good chance that the reason you're such a good leader and successful is because you've learned how to compartmentalize your emotions, which is why the more successful somebody is, the more issues they have with relationships, personal, intimate relationships, and food stuff. Because you can't be successful with relationships and food if you don't master your emotions. You can be very successful in leadership and business if you're not good with your emotions. Okay? Nothing wrong, but just be aware of it. And it's like, what if I could be the type of woman who has a really successful relationship with her food and her intimate relationships? Most of my clients, they're blocked with relationships too. And I could be badass at work. All of it is possible, but you need to learn how to be in your body and do both. Okay. I see that all the time. All right. Just give me an amen in the chat if you're with me, if you're resonating with what I'm saying. In order to, yes, I see you, Jamie. You're right on my screen. So thanks. I see you over there resonating. Good. So you need to admit that you have a problem and you need help. All right. Like, I know that sounds cliche. It's like, oh, I'm an alcoholic and I need to admit that I need help. But it's like, it actually is a thing. There has to be like, it can be embarrassing. It can be shameful. It could be like, I'm trying to figure out and, oh, I'm piecemealing all these different things and I'm downloading all these different tools and I'm buying all these different books and I'm making all these different recipes. But it's like, at what point are we like, the dabbling is not doing it? All right. And it's like, I just need to put my white flag up and surrender and be like, I actually don't know the way out of this. I actually don't, you know? And like, that's okay. We all like, there's things we don't know, but like, if we can learn it, then let's learn it. You need to be coachable, right? You need to be willing to take feedback. Sometimes there's things you don't want to hear. But if it's going to help you get where you need to go, then that's what a coach is for, to help you with that. Okay. You also need to be decisive and take action. You need to be really honest with yourself. You need to be willing to be honest, about what's going on. You need to feel your feelings. Okay. We teach you emotional mastery in the program. Get out of your comfort zone, face your fears of weight gain, fears of, what are other people going to think about me if I'm not sugar free anymore, or if I'm not keto anymore after I've been waving this flag of being a healthy eater and telling my family they should eat like this too. I was like the most annoying person. I was like, sugar is the demon and I'm going to be eating perfect. And I did it for 3 years straight. But then, like, on my stressful days, I'd be like stopping at a gas station and like eating all the stuff. I was like, that is not the definition of integrity. It's not wrong, but it's just like, I have a problem. So that was one of the hardest things, was actually like having to be like, yeah, I actually didn't have the answer. And I was telling all of you I had the answer, and I don't. Um, so, but people want you to be happy at the end of the day. So, um, yeah, you got to put yourself first and let go of those fears. Um, Freedom must be a must. You got to really be like, more than anything in the world, I want to have a healthy relationship with food, body, and weight, and not be dieting for the rest of my life. Because your brain will consistently tell you that it's safer to be on a diet, and consistently tell you that it's safer to be regimented and counting your points and calories again. And there needs to be this higher vision in your mind of like, no, this is more important to me than anything, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Because the journey can be, you've been doing decades and decades of dieting. There's a fair amount of rewiring, and it can be emotional, that journey. But you will get it if you're committed to it. The community for that support, getting coaching, all right, and then having accountability. It's how we get to be successful. So the emotional mastery was the main piece that I needed to add in for people. Specific coaching tailored to what's going on for you in your life, your family dynamics, right? So much relationship stuff affects our eating. Community and having people that are up to the same game, and then having that hypnosis as a supportive tool for you as well. All right, we talked about the painful cycle, so we don't need to get into that again, but it's just, we're stuck in it. And so we think we're doing better sometimes, and we'll start a workout plan, but then you have one bad day, you get angry, and now you're eating pizza again, and you're right back to it. And that will keep happening. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. In the Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss Fast Track to Freedom program, we're helping you penetrate this cycle, interrupt this pattern, right? Actually feel the feelings and notice the thoughts that are causing you to go and have the pizza and eat the cookie. All right. And then once you transcend that, now you have different ways of thinking. You naturally have energy coming back into your body because you just helped yourself feel better and get out of that vicious cycle. And then you naturally are going to make better decisions, because whenever you feel good, you do good. All right. It's an actual thing for women. If you feel good, you do good. But if you're thinking all these crazy thoughts all the time, you feel bad, and so you eat bad. So how do we support ourselves to feel good in seconds and not just wait until this one day that we're actually going to lose the weight? Good. Real clients, real results. All right. She lost 20 pounds in our program. Yvonne had a career change, improved her marriage, got a new car. It translates into other areas of life. Nurse practitioner, okay, lost weight without thinking about it. She brought her son on calls, taught him how to meditate and stuff. It's really sweet. Just regular people. I remember when I first talked to Pam, she was like, this is so embarrassing. Like, I'm a successful engineer. Like, how come I haven't figured this out? It's like, it's not embarrassing. It's just, and then she lost 10 pounds during the program. She started doing things in her life she didn't think she could. Yeah. If you haven't listened to our podcasts, I have interviews with all these people on the podcast, as well as sharing their stories. It's really powerful. ER nurse, her marriage got so much better. She lost 10 pounds. She stopped drinking alcohol. Okay. She used to have 2 double vodkas at night and then she didn't have a drink. She didn't think about having them after that. So other addictions also get helped out with in this program as well. Lisa lost 30 pounds. She was in a really not good relationship. She got out of it as a result of doing the program. All right. So, and then this is myself. That was me at my highest, 170 on the left side. This was me a couple years ago. No diet, no exercise, eating anything I wanted, but actually doing the foundational work to feel better, learn about my emotionality, fix my relationship stuff, and get on a healthier track overall. Right. This is from Misty, January 2022. She's down 28 pounds. I feel fantastic. I don't feel deprived or like I'm missing out on anything. I never thought I would feel this type of freedom. Thank you, everyone behind this HPWL program. I'm so grateful for you. All right, people stopping binging, losing weight, not going to fast food restaurants, buying new clothes. I love the modules and the hypnosis that I listen to every night. Leslie has been a big inspiration to me. I've made so many major changes in my eating and no longer have cravings for sodas or candy. Okay, this program is a life changer. I think I've worked with 200, it's like 250 clients in just the last 2 years. But I've been doing it since 2015. It works every time you work it. Like, imagine if in 6 weeks from now, you weren't a dieter and you just got to enjoy Christmas. And for the rest of your life, you knew how to not diet anymore. Like, I know that could probably sound like a quick fix, but you will have that if you're ready for that. I had a client who recently, she was like, I feel like it was a major investment, but I think about all the hundreds of dollars that I spent here and there on these little things over all the years that never actually got me where I wanted to go, and that all adds up. So it really is just an investment in the future for yourself. So if you're ready for that, I'm so excited to support clients right now. It's a really exciting time. Then book a call. hpwl.info/book. Just an easy name and info, and then you'll get on my calendar, Imogen's calendar, and we'll ask you some questions and make sure it's, we believe that it will work for you and move you forward from there. All right. So who's ready to take things to the next level? Who's booking a call for themselves today? Yay, Susan. Yay. Oh, Tammy, that's so fun. You can't see everyone at the same time. Nancy, you're booking a call. Awesome. Jamie, how about you? She's like, come on, girl. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, book a call. Have a conversation for yourself and anyone else who's off camera that wants to. How about Jill? Jill, you brought who's that? Your sister? Who is this? You're booking a call? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Yay. Good time of year for transformation. Seriously, it's like, let's be done with things that are falsely helping us, It's really, really beautiful. I'm happy for you guys. Awesome. All right, there's that link once again. Yep. And then we talked about that, having that confidence coming back, feeling really good about looking at yourself in the mirror, photographs. I had a client the other day and she was talking about, she's like, I'm scared to step on the scale, and I was like, do you want to face your fear right now and go step on the scale? And she went and did it. And she's like, it hasn't changed. Like, and I'm eating anything that I want. And I feel really good about myself and I'm done with dieting, So just getting to that point, and then clothes, actually liking, what you're seeing in the mirror and how they're fitting and all of that kind of stuff, and then just saving yourself time to not try to figure it out on your own. It's okay to own that you don't know how to get out of this. I didn't. I wish someone had this specific program when I was learning it, but that's why I made it. Because I did all the different dabbles and I was like, I figured it out, but I was like, why isn't all of this stuff being taught in one space? And then we talked about being able to save money from all the little things that we're doing for these temporary little fixes. So amazing. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for staying. Thank you for coming for yourself, enjoy the results of the hypnosis. Thank you, Imogen, for being our support person today. I'm so thankful for you and my whole team for helping all the time to do everything we're doing for people. Yeah, like I said, treat yourself like a science experiment. The hypnosis, if you got relaxed, powerful, powerful, powerful. And really can't wait to see you all next month. Feel free, please share it with anybody who needs this conversation. So many people need it. And for those of you who book calls, we'll talk to you again really soon. Thanks, everybody. Good night. If you are serious about taking action on your struggle with food, body, and weight, then this is for you. Go ahead and text the word hypnosis to 855-BE-ALIVE. That's 855-232-5483. Immediately after texting that number, you will get access to our free training that will tell you why you can't figure the food, body, and weight thing out, why you can't keep weight off even after you've been successful in the past, and how to actually overcome it, including a mini hypnosis session at the end. Don't miss out. Text the word hypnosis to 855-BE-ALIVE. That's 855-232-5483.